We're going to be using some effects inside Premiere Pro to create these light effects. So let's get started. So we're going to take a look at how we can create light leaks and then how we can create lens flares. These are two creative effects that you can add on to any video, and they make your clips look more artistic and fun. So we're going to begin with a really simple one. Just drag your video right in to make a sequence. Next, we're just gonna make a duplicate from our video. Head over to the effects panel and look for the 4-color gradient. Add this on your duplicate. Go to effect controls and choose your colors. So you can either do like a warm color, cold color, it's really up to you. I will go with like a purplish color and a little bit of blue. Let's add like a lighter version. Once I have my colors, I can drag their position by clicking on the points. So I can just push this around and get a different result. It's really simple to make. Position your colorful points however you like them, and then we're just going to blend them in better. So right now you can see that it's not exactly great. So if I scroll down to blend, you can see that I can add to get a softer look or remove to get a harsher line. I want mine to be blended. Once I'm finished, I can just change the blending mode into screen. So there are my lights. Once I do this, I still have the option to move these around. And now we have this cool party effect for my subject. Let's change the first color into something brighter. Let's try like a bright green. Push this here, switch it up. And there's my party effect. Let's keyframe the position of each of these points. Make a keyframe for all the points. 2, 3, 4. Move forward and maybe move them into a different position. So this guy comes down, this guy goes up, this guy goes here, and this goes here. So their positions are going to change per the keyframes that we made. If it's too much for you, you can just reduce from the opacity and get a softer look. So there we are. This is also helpful if you have like a scene where there's like something happening at night and you want to make it look like a police car has passed by. So instead of these colors, you would put red and blue and then kind of move their position in a really fast way so it looks like a police car is in your scene. Now let's work on that police example that I just mentioned. I have a clip right here. And as you can see, it's nighttime. We got some guns here and it just makes perfect sense if I put some lights on this wall and make it look like there's police. Hold down Alt or Option, delete the audio, Alt or Option again, click and drag to duplicate. You can also do this on like a adjustment layer. Both of the methods work. Let's grab the 4-color gradient, put it on, change the colors. If you want, you can get a reference from the internet so that it looks more realistic. So I'm just going to grab the colors and have both of these be blue and the other two be red. All right, there we go. Blend them in and increase the jitter. Let's change the blend mode to color dodge. And of course, lower the opacity. So the police wouldn't be this close to the subject. And we want to make it look like they're just passing by or they're just really far away. Once you have your blending mode set, change the points in a way that you like. Just gonna like put this here and put these here. There we go. They're going to stay there. You could move them if you like, or you could do a flashing effect. So just grab your adjustment layer, cut your adjustment layer into pieces, getting rid of the smaller bits in between each cut. So then the lights are just gonna come and go. You could make it faster if you'd like, or just make keyframes on your adjustment layer. So both ways work. Just go to the opacity and make your keyframes. So move forward 100, move maybe 2 frames forward, 0. Copy your keyframes, Command C, Control C, and just paste it throughout your work. Put a pause, maybe have someone speak from the police car. We learned how to use the essential sound panel, so just do that. And then repeat these keyframes. So now we have this siren look. Just make sure that here everything is 0. So here is my police siren look that we made with this 4-color gradient effect. This will look great with some audios in the back just to complement what's happening. Now let's move on to our second light effect, which involves another video. So let's grab our video, and let's say you have an outdoor shot and it was really sunny, but your camera did not capture that and it looks like a regular day. So we're going to use a light effect to just add some sun rays into your clip. Begin by making a color matte. And you want to choose the color of the sun, which will be like a yellow orangish color. Depending on the time of day, you would choose the color. So if it's more towards the afternoon, it would be more orange. If it's towards the morning, then it will be a bright yellow. So this looks like a morning. So I'm just going to get a bright yellow and get something like this. We can always come back and change this. Let's call this sun. Add your sun layer right above. Stretch the time. Effect controls. Grab your ellipse mask to make a circular mask. And change the blending mode to linear dodge. So it's going to be really bright. Let's feather it out. And use mask expansion. So this is obviously the wrong color. Let me see if I can save it with an opacity change. If not, just double click and get like a different tone. Then it gets orange and that looks better. So let's make it even less intense. And I'm going to introduce it when we close up on our subject. So go to where you want the sun to show up. Make a keyframe for position. Then go back and just remove the light completely out of frame. So very slowly your sunlight is going to come in and you're going to get that light. You can always work with the expansion. So let's say around here, the sun comes in. I will make a keyframe for expansion, go forward, and then increase the amount. Something like this. And then you can fade it out or leave it back. I'm going to leave it on for now. And then as we pull out, I'm going to make another keyframe for position and expansion. Going backward, we're going to copy the first position keyframe and the first mask expansion keyframe. So the sun is just going to be there when we close in on our subject. Let's take a look. So here is the sun getting bigger as we draw in, and now she's getting this light effect, which looks pretty natural because of our blending mode and the opacity slider. But again, be careful about the time of day. If the video was shot in the afternoon, you definitely want to leave more of the opacity and choose like a deep orange color. I'm going to pull in my keyframes so the animation happens faster. This was our second light effect. Let's take a look at our next one. Our next one is this one. We're just going to make a new adjustment layer, put it right above. Let's get VR color gradients and add it right above. So this will give you multiple colors, but you can reduce the amount. Maybe get like 2. And I'm just going to increase the adjustment layer so it fits our screen. Gradient power, you can work with this. And you can change the different point of view. Open up the points down here and change your colors. So we have color 1, color 2, but like we said, you can go for multiple ones by increasing the point number. So my video has this dark color, therefore I want to add like a deep red and like a deep orange. So choose orange on the side, and in the middle we can try like a yellow, just to help with the whole sunset effect. Add it on, close the points, and then change the blending mode. So right now we're on screen, but once we reduce the amount, we're going to get a softer look. You can try any of these blending modes. I'm going to go with multiply, and now we have these sides darker and the middle, well, it looks a little more yellow. Each of these blending modes will give you a different result. So this is overlay. Color burn. Add is going to make it really weird. But since we do have a sun in the middle, we can make it look like the sun just exploded by moving forward, making a keyframe for opacity, pushing it forward, and then turning this to 0. So very slowly the sun is going to explode. And maybe something can happen inside the video. But I want something a little bit more natural, so I will stick with multiply. And there is my effect using the color gradients effect. Now let's take a look at our final effect. I'm going to use the same video that we had. I'm going to make another sequence. Let's call this light effect, because there's 2. Now on this, we're just going to begin by making a separate sequence. So right click, new item, sequence. Let's call it lights. Go to settings, and we're just going to turn this really tiny, the sequence. So instead of 1920, we're going to go for like 48 by 27. And you can see this is still a 16 by 9, which is what 1920 by 1080 is. But we're making it small so that it matches the maximum capacity of the effects that we're about to use. Just make sure that your aspect ratio is on square pixel and everything looks good. Hit OK once you're done. Now inside this sequence, we're going to make a black video. Go right here, black video, add it right in. And we're just going to add a noise effect. So type noise and add the noise HLS auto. Go in here. And what's going to happen is that we're going to first introduce some lights all the way 1000. And now you can see we're getting these lines all over our video. All right, so once we have that, we're going to change the type to grain. It's going to give us larger chunks. And then we want to increase the grain size to the maximum amount. Again, we're looking for large chunks of these lights. So grain size 10. Moving forward, there's going to be other frames. Each frame looks different, which is great for this light effect. So once we have this, we're going to reduce the noise animation into something really small, like 3. So now it will not happen as quickly and we get more natural lines. If you want it to happen slower, we can try 1. And now it's really subtle and really natural. If you make it too fast, it's gonna look weird. You could do that for like a party video, but because I want a natural light leak effect, I want to keep it very subtle. So 1 is good for me. Once I'm finished, I'm going to get rid of the pixelation around the edge. We can do that with one of our favorite effects, Gaussian blur. Go into effect controls and just blur this out. So you can see how it softens out the edges. And that is pretty good. Let's go for like 9. Go through your frame and you can already see the light leak effect happening. Just be sure to have this checked on or else you're going to get these dark bits at the corners. Now go to your original sequence where you had your video and bring in this lights thing. It's going to come in as a sequence. Gonna get rid of the audio and just increase the amount here. Come back here and now I can put it all over my video. But notice how tiny it is. So we're just going to right click and scale to frame size. Now it's not important if the quality isn't there because we're going to change the blending mode and just do a bunch of other things. So make sure it just covers your screen. Next, we're going to change the blending mode into screen. So there's our light leak. It's just changing over time. And we did it with one simple effect. Now, if you're not seeing the light leak, it's because you don't have the high quality playback checked. So if we have that, you're going to see it. And that is looking pretty good. So now if you wanted to make the look softer, you just have to go back to your nested clip, then add to the Gaussian blur. Let's try 18. And now it's going to look softer. We can also give this a separate color if white is not your favorite. We can do that with a simple tint effect, add it right above your nested clip, and map white, because we have white here, into whatever color you want. I'm going to go with like a warm orange. And that is really good for like vintage videos or just clips where you want to make things look more fun. You can work with this slider to get like a softer color. And there's my video. So you can do this, stop right here, or make multiple leaks on your video by simply duplicating this and maybe putting a different color for the second one. I'm going to go with red, and perhaps we can flip it the other way. So let's go for 180. And now I'm going to get two colors. There's like a red and there's an orange. They're separate. And when we play it together, it's going to look cool. You can scale one in or like change the position just to make it look a little different. If the effect is too much, you can nest these two. Call this leaks. Go on top of this, change the blend mode one more time. But here we can like work with the opacity, make it brighter or like really subtle, and just experiment. So I think I will go with like 80%. And now I got myself a nice light leak. So this concludes our light effects. They're all really simple to do and they're appropriate for any type of video. It's just a matter of what color you choose, and we already know what each color means, so the selection will be simple. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Let's move on to the next one.